Okay, I thought I would work this problem with you since I'm getting a lot of questions about it. So the first thing I want to point out is inside a three-circle Venn diagram, we have 8 different regions, 8 different parts. Since this circle says boys, that means those 4 parts belong to boys. If it's not a boy, it's a girl. So everything outside of this circle, all these 4 parts, those belong to girls. If they're in this circle, they passed. So if they failed, they're not in that circle. They're these 4 outside the circle. If they got suspended, they're here. But if they did not get suspended, they're outside the circles. So let's read this. It says 51 boys were surveyed. So 51 boys were surveyed. So these 4 are going to add up to 51. It says 10 boys who got suspended still passed. Read this slower. 10 boys. So out of these 8 spots, we've narrowed it down to these 4. And then keep reading. It says 10 boys who got suspended. So out of these 4, we've narrowed it down to these 2. These 2 are the boys who got suspended. And then it says they still passed. So out of these 2, we've narrowed it down to that 1 right there. 42 students failed. So if you cover up the pass circle, all 4 of those should add up to failed. The 42 who failed can't do it. 48 girls, so stop a second. If they're girls, then they're not boys. So they're these 4 spots right here. So they are girls who did not get suspended. So they're not boys and they did not get suspended. So we're talking about these 2 spots right here would be girls who did not get suspended. I already have 35 and it said 48, so that leaves 13. 30 boys, so we've narrowed it down to these 4 right here, passed the class. So out of these 4, we've now narrowed it down to these 2. I already have 10 boys who've passed. I need to add my 20 right there. 17 boys, so we've narrowed it down to these 4, were suspended, so we narrowed it down to these 2, and failed, so we've narrowed it down to out here. Going back to the top, 51 boys were surveyed, so we could do 51 minus all those numbers and you would get 4. 42 students failed, so if you cover up the pass circle, these 4 represent students who failed. So 42 minus all those leave us with 8 right here. So the key really is to read this slowly.